Should you buy or should you sell Meta shares? Right now it's down over 10% just in one day. That's its biggest loss in just one single day. But is Zuckerberg on the right track? He's defended his spending on AI. Right now the market, it's worried because Zuckerberg spent so much money on the metaverse. And that of course has stained his CV and Meta's. In other words, he's pouring money into AI. Is he going to make that money actually pay? In other words, Meta makes money by advertising. Will more people be using Facebook? Will they be using Instagram? Will they be using WhatsApp to actually gain business going forward? And if AI can help those companies and help those different sections of Meta do well, then of course Meta shares are set to soar. So for me, let me explain what I believe is happening, because if you want to invest, you need to understand. First of all, what happens when you get the infrastructure build? In other words, when we talk about AI, we talk about 2022 when ChatGPT first started to come out. And since then, of course, you've seen that Nvidia's shares have absolutely soared. In other words, the build, the shovels are being paid for. And right now, companies like Meta, companies like Microsoft, they're spending fortunes and they're spending that money with Nvidia. But at some stage in the future, in my personal opinion, that then changes. In other words, once the infrastructure is built, there'd be less spending on the build and more money made by actually customers using the AI that's been produced. Of course, that still means, does Meta win? It's in a situation whereby it's got so many users around the world. Zuckerberg, yes, he spent money on the metaverse, but is he going to be successful? For me, it's a short-term pain for a long-term gain. I actually think that Meta is a buy. What do you think? Should you buy Meta shares? Buy or sell for you? Leave an opinion below.